MechaGodzilla, get the hell out of my way.
I can't. You'll destroy city.
Well, you asked for it.
What the hell was that? Oh god, it's in my eye. Flawless victory.
Hey Rangers, welcome to Super Important Reviews. My name's Steve.
My name is Arnes.
And today I'll be going over the Bandai and Tamashii Nation SE's MonsterArts Fire Rodan. We've had a few requests for this action figure, so decided to put out a review for this bad boy right here.
Wait, before we go any further, who is this guy, Steve?
This guy is from the film Godzilla vs. MechaGodzilla, which was from the Heisei era, which I believe the film came out in 1993, where Godzilla ends up fighting Rodan here, big old bad boy here. Rodan gets defeated, and then gets charged up with radiation, becomes Fire Rodan. And then Fire Rodan fights MechaGodzilla, loses, gets mortally wounded. Godzilla equally getting mortally wounded. Rodan ends up sacrificing himself in order to save Godzilla so that they can rescue baby Godzilla. And the main reason I picked up this figure is because he actually comes with accessories for other kaijus in my collection, like MechaGodzilla and the Godzilla, where he actually has effects to go along with them. Which is something that's really cool for this guy. And you get Fire Rodan with it. What could be better?
Steve, I have one thing to ask.
Yep.
Why does it look like that stand is just up his rear entrance?
We will go over that in this review. And without further ado, for the packaging, getting Mr. Fire Rodan out of the way for a second. Stop trying to attack me.
Hitting your finger, Steve.
All right. You get a nice image of Fire Rodan on the front of this packaging, which actually looks more like Fire Rodan from the actual movie and not from the actual figure. I don't know, it's just, they don't really look quite similar, but whatever.
You just don't see it, Steve. You're colorblind.
You also get the MonsterArts on the top here, his name here, came out in 2012, Bandai Tamashii Nation. Top of the packaging, you get this awesome Batman logo. With this clear window with Fire Rodan in the middle of it. Also this cool little picture of him down here in the bottom right corner. Side of the packaging, you get Rodan's chest and a nice black and white image of Rodan on the side here. Looks sweet. Also some more Fire Rodan. Other side of the packaging, even more Fire Rodan. And then for the back, you just get him in some dynamic poses. Get some stuff I can't understand on the side here. Awesome poster though.
Hey, Steve, customers have asked for you to read that for them.
Yeah. And some Lego mumbo jumbo. So let's get this guy, actually, I'll just get into it. Alright, bringing back Rodan into the shot for a second. Here we have him standing, well, he was standing by himself.
Put his crotch back on, Steve.
I know, right? He can actually stand in this position, but it's not really working out too well right now. You know, we'll just go over the accessories real quick. Which, for starters, we have what Arnes is affectionately calling his crutch stand. Which, what this is you literally just sit him on top of this. Which, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want this portion here to be where the tail is actually going to be sticking through. Like so. Just sit him right on top of it, literally. And then I watch
it doesn't work.
Face plant. Yeah, it takes a little bit of finessing here. But once you get on there, he actually stays on there pretty decently. Pretty decently, I might add. Because it's still a decent amount of wiggling. It's going to get him knocked off. But what this is going to do for you is actually get him to be able to be displayed without having him super high off the ground, so you don't really have to worry about him breaking if he falls. But you can still actually get him to display fairly nicely on there, which is something that is pretty cool. I actually have never really used this accessory though until now, because the way he's been displayed on myself is with this other accessory, his flight stand, which I think is actually really sweet because you can actually get him pretty high off the ground here. Looks really cool actually having him kind of soaring around, even though that is one stupid huge cradle. Which the cradle does kind of stick out like a sore thumb though when you have him actually sitting on it. But it does actually hold him in there pretty nicely. I'm actually more worried about the Tamashii Nation stand actually bending more than him actually falling off of this thing. But he does look super cool there, just kind of soaring around. Just like, even get his little mouth open, which is awesome.
Steve?
Yeah?
He looks derpy like that.
You look derpy. And then he comes with 3 stands, which one that you get is this really nice one with this gold flaking here, then Rodan painted on top of this with Fire Rodan here on the bottom. Looks really sweet. You also get a more basic one with nothing going on other than the metallic flicking. And this super sweet Tear Down Forever one with Kazuma Aoki. Or Uki.
It's something.
Something. And then for his last official accessory for him, he comes with his radioactive breath effect, which looks super sweet. I really love the pink paint job that they got going here with a little bit more of a lighter shade on the inside of it, and the light reflects off this thing very, very nicely. I really like how it kind of blooms at the end here too, where it has like this more bigger energy wave towards the end, while the tip is very tiny because it actually has to go inside of his mouth. Which this breath effect looks freaking awesome on this guy. I also love too that he comes with actually total 3 Tamashii Nation stands, so you can actually have him fully flying, fully posed with the beam effect. And for his other accessories, this super huge sausage looking Godzilla beam effect, which this is for the normal Heisei Godzilla, which can also be used with the Burning Godzilla or the Rebirth Godzilla. Pretty much anything that you could fit this mouthpiece over top of. But it looks really sweet. I love the orange effect here where it has the more auburn color on the inside and then it turns to a darker shade coming out of the mouth and coming towards the end of the breath effect. But what's really cool, it actually has these overlaying electrical beams coming over top of it to give it this really awesome, more supercharged appearance, because essentially this is what was happening during the end of the film where he's shooting his breath effect after gaining his powers from Rodan, which becomes this super awesome broken beam, which, again, you get a separate Tamashii Nation stand for this one to have on your Godzilla, and then grabbing Godzilla real quick. Here's the breath effect with our Godzilla, which, again, looks freaking amazing on this, especially since this one was the reissue that didn't actually come with a breath effect, so I was super glad to actually be able to get a hold of one for this guy. And I gotta say, I really love that Rodan actually came with this, and this isn't even it for accessories. He comes with one more, which is this battle damaged MechaGodzilla head, which, Arnes, if you want to go over this section?
That's my favorite Godzilla. It's MechaGodzilla.
Which the main reason he has this little effect piece is Rodan here just kind of decided to rip the crap out of that eye. Just like,
wait, he poked his eye out?
Yeah, in the movie, he just gets attacked and Rodan's like, I'm not gonna take your shit. And
I got this. Where's Rodan at?
Right? Get out of here. But the details on the head are amazing. If you guys actually have the MechaGodzilla figure is awesome as well. And the details,
do you, Steve?
Actually, I do. Grabbing the original's head just so you guys can see. Pretty much not really any major difference, which is really awesome, so that if you swap them out, it's not going to be distracting at all. So if you actually want to swap these things out, which is really easy because all you do is you just pull upwards on MechaGodzilla's head here, pops right out of here, little peg right here, peg hole in the bottom of the head here, just swap that bad boy out. Here it is on our new MechaGodzilla, which looks freaking amazing as well. Also like that it has some mouth articulation so you can actually open it up, because this one came with a breath effect to actually go with this guy. So it'd be kind of depressing if that actually didn't articulate. But it looks really awesome on this MechaGodzilla. It's actually generally the way I actually have them displayed on my shelf, because I kind of have all these guys together in one spot to make like a little diorama. And overall, I just love that he actually came with this, because it's probably one of the more iconic things from that movie for me anyways, is when Rodan just kind of went to town on MechaGodzilla's face. And it's really cool that he came with this.
You're ruining the movie for me, Steve. I haven't seen it yet.
I'm sorry. And then finally for the coup de grace, we have good old Fire Rodan here. Oh, it is actually pretty cool for how tiny of a figure this is. I'll show you guys the comparisons in a little bit, but this guy's, for MonsterArts anyways, not super big, but then again in the film, wasn't really that big of a kaiju either. Which is kind of why I think when he originally came out, he was somewhere in the $50 price range, because that's what I picked up mine for. But for the head sculpt here, looks amazing. Love the details on here where you even have his pupils there look amazing, which is very impressive for how stupid small this figure is. Which overall his paint job here is this orangish color, which he also has more of a flesh tone here for the body and also here for the wings. And then for his beak is more of a cement gray color. And on the inside of his mouth is blood red. You can even see the teeth on the top and the bottom there, which are also individually painted. Looks amazing. And then you also get his horns here, which kind of transition from a more brown color into a more yellowing bone color coming towards the top, which looks really good. Very iconic from the movie. Neck details are really nice, and I really like how they got the wrinkling effect here for the majority of his skin. Because in the film, it wasn't really scaly looking. Like, it actually just kind of looked like tightened up skin for the most part. Kind of like what you'd see on like a rhino or an elephant. And then also you got his trademark spikes here on the back, which are also this more bonish yellow coloring. And then the back details here look really nice. For the wings, also look very good. I also really like the little hand here on the top. It's freaking adorable. What's also really neat too for the wings is you actually can, if it shows up on the camcorder here, is it actually has some vein work on the inside of the wings. So there's actually some added detail for it. Might be a little bit easier to see on the under section here. But it is really cool, like these little subtle added attention to details here that just really make this figure actually pop. Chest details look really nice as well. Because like on the original Rodan, he has these segmented sections on his chest and abdomen region here. And then he has these more bone protrusions here on the chest here, which are more for like defense and whatnot, but still looks really cool. Also more of the bone yellowing for here, and the peach skin color here for the chest portion looks good. Legs are super tiny, but also look really nice as well. A lot of details here. Also has like a little bit of armor plating here for the lower portion of the legs. These little claws are freaking adorable. Also super terrifying because a lot of things on this figure are actually really small. So if you guys do end up picking up this figure, just be a little bit careful because this guy, I do fear, can break rather easily because the horns here on top of his head, pretty thin. Beak, pretty thin. Bone protrusions, really thin. Same with the feet here. Tail region. Haven't had too much problem with mine because mine's actually fallen off his little flight stand a few times and nothing bad's happened. Well, it's just something to be kind of concerned about. Then for his nails, are more of a black color, which looks really nice. You can kind of see a little bit better on the nails on the hands here, which look really sweet. And then for his tail, which is also super tiny and adorable, has more of the bone spike protrusions here coming along the tail here. Stops right towards the little tip right here. And overall, just this guy. Crap ton of details, especially for how small of a figure this is. Like, they pretty much, you get your money's worth out of this little Fire Rodan. And for his articulation, his head could look up about that far, down about that far. You can pivot a little bit to the left and to the right. Also can rotate, I think, all the way around without having too much of a hindrance, which is really cool. For his mouth, can move up and down. Also has a little bit of a wiggle to it. Then for his wings, shoulders can move up about that far, down about that far. Can move. One thing to point out is his wings are actually really easy to pop out. But his wings can move down about that far with out popping out of the ball joint. Can move back about that far. Then for the wings here, can also move forward and back because each of these are on their own little hinge. And then for the wings, can also rotate a little bit, but if you rotate too much, it will pop out of the ball joint, so you can get it down about that far, which is really cool. For his hands, on a little peg joint, so it can move forward and back, and can also rotate side to side. I want to try to get it to go all the way around because it can actually pop out pretty easy there. Then for his legs, can move out about that far, in about yay far. It has a pretty decent forward kick. Can move backwards about that far. Has actually a really nice bend here at the knee because it is not technically on the double joint, but it kind of gives that appearance. But it does actually bend pretty well. Also has a little bit of a rotation for his feet on a peg joint so they can move forward and back and also rotate all the way around. If you wanted to do a pivot, you're going to have to position the peg joint here in a way that it's going to be actually shifting side to side instead of forward and back. Then for his tail, it's actually on ball joints where the separated section is here at the rear. There's one right there. One right there, there, and there for the last section. Which the tail is actually pretty freaking posable, if I gotta say. Then for some quick comparison, here we have the SH MonsterArts Fire Rodan compared to some other SH MonsterArts figure with MechaGodzilla and the Heisei Godzilla. Which you can kind of see what I was talking about with these guys definitely being much larger kaijus than the Fire Rodan. But then again, that's how he was portrayed in the film. And here's some NECA action figures with the Godzilla 1994 and 2014.
Okay, before you begin this next section, Steve, what is this hideous thing?
Why, that's the Japanese Bandai Vinyl Fire Rodan, and also MechaGodzilla from the same movie.
That thing's hideous.
You're hideous.
Right there. You see that thing? It looks so hideous.
Caesar! So overall, the SH MonsterArts Fire Rodan, I think this figure is actually pretty sweet. I love the amount of detail and articulation this figure has, and the accessories they come with are actually really sweet, and as a total package, this figure is awesome.
Actually, Steve, I'm surprised how much articulation he has on him.
Yeah, especially for how small of a figure this is, he actually bends pretty well. But that being said, I would only really recommend picking up this guy if you guys either have Godzilla and MechaGodzilla to go with him, or if you guys are planning to pick him up, because to me he feels more like a total package. Like he's really there to complement your other figures. By himself, he's not quite as great though, especially at the prices that he's at nowadays. So if you guys are definitely planning on picking up MechaGodzilla and Godzilla, then you guys need to be adding the Pterosaur King to your collection today. But what do you guys think? Do you guys own the Fire Rodan? What's your favorite flying dinosaurs? Anger is just more your thing? Please let us know in the comments. We'll post a picture of this guy on Facebook. If you want to click the link description below. Help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button. Subscribe to become a ranger today, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.